Saturn is one of the planets in the solar system, holding the 6th position from the Sun when measured by distance. One of Saturn's distinctive features is its spectacular ring system, composed of millions of pieces of ice and small rocks. Saturn is located approximately 1.4 billion kilometers from the Sun. Besides having rings made of ice particles, Saturn is also the second largest planet in the solar system, after Jupiter, with a diameter of around 120,536 kilometers. Characteristics of the planet Saturn include a relatively thick layer of gas, primarily composed of hydrogen and helium, with traces of other elements such as methane and ammonia. Saturn has an atmosphere marked by strong winds and is equipped with a robust magnetosphere, serving as protection against radiation and charged particles from the Sun. Furthermore, the planet is surrounded by more than 80 natural satellites or moons, including Titan, which is the largest among them. Saturn has been the subject of research and exploration by spacecraft, such as the Cassini-Huygens mission. Here are the characteristics of the planet Saturn that Do You Know channel has summarized for you. 1. Flattened planet. Saturn has the characteristic of having a polar diameter reaching about 90% of its equatorial diameter. This is caused by two main factors, the first being low density and rapid rotation. Additionally, Saturn is the only planet in the solar system with a lower density than water, approximately 30% lower. Although Saturn has a planetary core much denser than water, the planet itself has a density of about 0.69 gram per cubic centimeter. Meanwhile, Saturn's mass is about 90 times that of Earth. 2. Dominated by 150 moons and smaller moonlets. Saturn is surrounded by more than 150 moons or natural satellites. Some of them are massive moons, such as Titan and Rhea, while others are smaller moonlets. Of particular interest is the moon Enceladus, which appears to have a subsurface ocean beneath its frozen surface. Titan is one of the most intriguing moons, featuring an atmosphere rich in nitrogen, a surface dotted with liquid methane lakes, and a landscape covered by layers of nitrogen ice. 3. Surface of Saturn cannot be touched. As a giant gas planet, Saturn is vastly different from Earth. It is predominantly composed of gases, especially helium, a major component in balloons. Alongside helium, hydrogen also dominates its composition, along with traces of methane. Saturn is one of the least dense planets in the solar system. Its density is so low that if you had a container large enough to hold the planet, Saturn would actually float. 4. Hydrogen gas giant. Although often referred to as a gas giant due to hydrogen and helium being its primary constituents, Saturn is believed to have a solid core at its center. The physical shape of Saturn resembles a flattened spheroid, meaning it is slightly flattened along its axis from pole to pole. This results in a bulge at the planet's equator, occurring due to Saturn's rotation. The equatorial radius of Saturn is approximately 60,268 km, almost 10% larger than its polar radius, which is about 54,364 kilometers. 5. Rich atmosphere of Saturn. The atmosphere of Saturn consists mostly of hydrogen, around 96.3% of the molecules present, along with 3.5% helium. Although the amount of helium is considerable, it is much lower compared to the abundant helium in the Sun. The total mass of elements heavier than helium in Saturn is estimated to be about 19 to 31 times the mass of Earth, with the majority of this mass concentrated in the planet's core. In Saturn's atmosphere, traces of ammonia, acetylene, ethane, propane, phosphine, and methane are also found. 6. Exotic rings of Saturn. One of the most distinctive features of the planet Saturn is its beautiful rings. Saturn's rings are composed of millions of pieces of ice and small rocks that encircle the planet. These rings form a giant circle around Saturn, giving it a highly characteristic appearance. Despite appearing solid, Saturn's rings are incredibly thin. only a few hundred meters thick, despite spanning several thousand kilometers in width.